Hello there, my name is Payal Narayani and welcome to this video series. यहाँ हम कवर कर रहे हैं पूनम दलाल दहिया की एंशिएंट एंड मेडिवल इंडिया की 3rd एडिशन, जो कि लेटेस्ट एडिशन है. इस किताब को हम ट्रूली रीड करेंगे और जहाँ ज़रूरत पड़ेगी वहाँ हम साथ ही साथ UPSC एंड स्टेट सर्विसेज में आए हुए प्रीवियस ईयर के क्वेश्चंस भी डिस्कस करेंगे. एंड इस सीरीज़ में वीडियोज़ लगभग 30 to 35 मिनट्स के होंगे, बट इफेक्टिव होंगे. और हम ऑलमोस्ट 40 to 45 लेक्चर्स में ये पूरी किताब कवर करेंगे. और अगर आपने ये सीरीज़ 3 to 4 टाइम्स देख ली तो बिल्कुल ये किताब आपके दिमाग में छप जाएगी. एंड ट्रस्ट मी, आपकी एक्यूरेसी भी काफ़ी इंक्रीज़ हो जाएगी. साथ ही साथ आपका रिविज़न भी काफ़ी आसान हो जाएगा. सो अगर आपको रिविज़न के साथ साथ वैल्यू एडिशन भी करना है तो ये सीरीज़ पूरी फॉलो करें. आपको बस आपके पास ये किताब रखकर मुझे सुनना है एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स मार्क करने हैं. So without any further delay, let's get started. Hello there, welcome back to the channel Ghatna Sutra. यहाँ हम कवर कर रहे हैं पूनम दलाल दहिया की एंशिएंट एंड मेडिवल इंडिया 3rd एडिशन, जो कि लेटेस्ट एडिशन है. और हम आज शुरू करें विद द टॉपिक हुमायूं फ्रॉम द चैप्टर द मुगल्स. एंड बिफोर वी मूव अहेड विद दिस टॉपिक, आप इस टॉपिक को डबल स्टार मार्क कर लीजिए, क्योंकि इसके ऊपर BPSC में मल्टीपल ईयर्स में सवाल पूछे गए थे. साथ ही उत्तराखंड PCS में 2012 में एंड UPRO/ARO की एग्जामिनेशन में 2017 में इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन पूछे गए थे. सो डबल स्टार मार्क दिस टॉपिक. हुमायूं 1530 to 1556 CE. Humayun was born to Mahim Begum and Babur and was the eldest son of Babur. Humayun means fortune, but he remained the most unfortunate ruler of Mughal Empire. He succeeded Babur at a young age of 23 and had to cope up with a number of problems left behind by Babur. The main problem faced by Humayun were the newly conquered territory and administration was not consolidated and the finances were precarious. Unlike Babur, Humayun did not command the respect and esteem of the Mughal nobility. The Chagati noble were not favorably inclined towards him, and the Indian nobles who had joined Babur's service deserted the Mughals at Humayun's accession. He also had to confront the hostility of Afghans and the other prominent provincial rulers, as they were not fully subdued. This included Sher Khan, a powerful Afghan of Bihar, and the provincial ruler of Gujarat, Bahadur Shah. As per Timurid tradition, Humayun had to share power with his brothers, which created multiple centers of power: Kamran, Kabul, Khandar and Punjab, Hindal, Alwar and Mewat, Mirza Aksari, Sambhal. In 1532 CE at Dora, he defeated the Afghan forces which had conquered Bihar and Jaunpur. Then he besieged the powerful fort of Chornor from the Afghan Sardar Sher Khan, which commanded the land and the river route between Agra and the east, and was thus known as the gateway of eastern India. But in spite of the position of superiority, he made a treaty with rising Afghan leader Sher Khan, leaving him in full control of the area east of Banaras and also the position of the fort in lieu of his loyalty, a mistake which cost him his empire later. A probable reason for this hastiness was the advance of Bahadur Shah of Gujarat towards the Mughal frontiers, especially towards Malwa and Rajputana. In such a situation, Humayun was forced to rush back to Agra, 1532 to 1533 CE. Marching towards Malwa, Humayun seized Mandu and then stormed Champaner and Ahmedabad. He appointed his younger brother Askari as a viceroy of Gujarat and returned to Mandu. However, both Gujarat and Malwa were lost as quickly as they had been gained. Askari lacked experience, and when Bahadur Shah moved towards Ahmedabad, he fled to Agra. The only advantage from Gujarat campaign was that it destroyed forever the threat posed to the Mughals by Bahadur Shah, and Humayun could concentrate all his resources against Sher Khan and the Afghans. Meanwhile, Sher Khan became the unquestioned master of Bihar. After equipping a new army, Humayun marched against Sher Khan, and despite the best effort by the master gunner Rumi Khan, it took Humayun 6 months to besiege Junnar. Sher Khan captured the powerful fort of Rohtas by treachery, where he left his family safely and invaded Bengal and captured Gaur, its capital. He then made an offer to Humayun that he would surrender Bihar and pay an annual tribute of 10 lakh dinars if he was allowed to retain Bengal. But Humayun declined the offer as he did not want to lose Bengal, which was not only rich but also a significant foreign trade center. Battle of Chausa near Buxar, 1539 CE. Humayun was defeated and Sher Khan adopted the title of Sher Shah. Humayun barely escaped with his life from the battlefield, swimming across the river with the help of water carrier. Battle of Baligrama or Battle of Kannauj, 1540 CE. After the defeat at Chausa, only the fullest unity among the Timurid prince and the noble could have saved the Mughals. Humayun reached Agra to negotiate with his brother, but they were not cooperative, and Humayun could not get support of Kamran, who moved out of Agra towards Lahore, leaving Humayun with a small force. He thus was not able to prepare properly against Sher Khan. The Battle of Kannauj was bitterly contested. Both the younger brother of Humayun, Askari and Hindal, fought valiantly, but Humayun was still truly defeated by Sher Khan. This battle decided the issue between Sher Khan and the Mughals. Humayun now became a prince without a kingdom, and he had to flee from Delhi, becoming an exile for next 15 years, 1540 to 1555 CE. He wandered about in Sindh, 1540 CE, and its neighboring region for the next 2.5 years, trying different schemes to regain his kingdom. He married Hamida Banu Begum, daughter of Hindal's teacher, on his way to Sindh. While they stayed at Amarkot, a Hindu kingdom ruled by Rana Prasad, Akbar was born in 1542 CE. Ultimately, Humayun sought shelter at the court of Iranian king, who forced him to convert to Shia faith. Mughals were otherwise Sunni, and recaptured Gandhar and Kabul with his help in 1545 CE. In 1555 CE, following the breakup of Sur Empire, Humayun defeated the Afghans and recovered the Mughal throne. But before he could consolidate his position, only after 6 months he died from a fall from the staircase of his library at Sehermandal in Delhi in 1556 CE. For him, it is said that he jumbled throughout life and was tumbled out of life. Behram Khan, one of his faithful officers, helped him come back to India. His half-sister Gulbadan Begum wrote Humayunama. Highlight this, तो हुमायूंनामा किसने लिखा था? It was written by his half-sister, जिनका नाम था Gulbadan Begum. Humayun built a new city at Delhi, which he named Deenpana, and constructed Jamil Mosque and Mosque of Isa Khan at Delhi. Humayun's tomb is called the prototype of the Taj Mahal and was built by his widow Haji Begum. Humayun invited 2 Persian painters, Mir Sayyid Ali and Abdus Samad, and made them his court painters. And before we move ahead with the Afghan topic, आप इस टॉपिक को डबल स्टार मार्क कर लीजिए, क्योंकि इसके ऊपर MPPCS में 2018 में सवाल आया था, साथ ही UPPCS में मल्टीपल ईयर्स में इसके ऊपर सवाल आया था, एंड UPRO/ARO की एग्ज़ाम में 2021 एंड 2016 में सवाल आया था. So let's start with this topic. The Afghan Interlude and Sur Interregnum, 1540 to 1555 CE, Sher Shah Suri, 1486 to 1545 CE, the founder of Sur dynasty and also the second Afghan empire after the Lodhis, whose original name was Farid. He was the son of Hassan Khan, a Jagirdar of Sasaram in South Bihar, Jaunpur. Later, Farid served under the Afghan governor of Bihar, Bahar Khan Lohani, who gave him the title Sher Khan for his bravery as he killed a tiger. He very effectively managed the Jagir of his father and also acquired great military and administrative skills. He gradually increased his influence and defeated Sultan Muhammad Shah of Bengal, Battle of Surajgarh, and emerged as the most powerful Afghan military commander in the eastern provinces. As we have discussed earlier, this brought him a conflict with Mughal Emperor Humayun, and he adopted the title of Sher Shah after defeating Humayun in the Battle of Chausa, thus declaring himself as an independent king. He defeated Humayun again in the Battle of Kannauj and proclaimed himself as Emperor of Hindustan at the age of 54. Sher Shah followed Humayun on his flight till Sindh in the northwest. After expelling Humayun, he started consolidating his position in northern and eastern India. He defeated and conquered Malwa in 1542 CE, which was followed by Chanderi. In Rajasthan, he led campaign against Mewar, Ranthambore, Nagaur, Ajmer, Jodhpur and Bikaner. He defeated Maldev in the famous Battle of Samail around Ajmer, 1544 CE. He defeated rebellious Afghans in Bengal, and by 1545 CE, he had established himself as the supreme ruler from Sindh and Punjab to the whole of Rajputana in the west and Bengal in the east. His last campaign was against Kalanjar, Bundelkhand, in which he succeeded but died from an accidental explosion of gunpowder in 1545 CE. Sher Shah, even though a pious Muslim, adopted a tolerant attitude towards other religions. He employed Hindus in important offices. He was also a patron of art and architecture and built a new city on the bank of river Yamuna near Delhi. He built Purana Killa, Old Fort, Sher Mandal, an octagonal building inside the Purana Killa complex, which later served as the library of Humayun, and his own museum at Sasaram, which is considered as one of the masterpieces of Indian architecture. He also built the Rohtaz Fort, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site in Pakistan, many structures in Rohtazgarh Fort in Bihar, and the Sher Shah Suri Masjid in Patna. He built a new city, Bahera, of modern-day Pakistan, 1545 CE, and inside the city built the historical Grand Sher Shah Suri Masjid. Sher Shah also patronized learned men Malik Muhammad Jayasi, completed his Padmavat during his reign. Famous historian Abbas Khan Suravani wrote Tariq-e-Sher Shahi during his reign. He was succeeded by his son Islam Shah Jalal Khan, who had to face a number of conflicts with his brother Adil Khan and many Afghan nobles. He died in 1553 CE and the Afghan Empire was substantially weakened. The Sur domain were partitioned among relatives of Sher Shah: Punjab, Agra, Delhi, Bihar and eastern region. For instance, Punjab was taken by Sikandar Sur, who was later defeated by Humayun. Humayun thus gradually captured his lost kingdom. Sher Shah's administration, 1540 to 1545 CE. Although his rule lasted for only 5 years, he organized a brilliant administrative system which served as inspiration to not only the Mughal administration but to the British too. The empire was divided into 47 sarkars: Chief Shikdar, Law and Order; Chief Munsif, Judge. अच्छा, बिफोर वी मूव अहेड, आप ये जो इम्पोर्टेंट टर्मिनोलॉजीज़ यहाँ पे यूज़ करी जा रही है, आप इन टर्मिनोलॉजीज़ को हाईलाइट करिए एंड साथ में इनके मीनिंग्स भी याद रखिए, क्योंकि बहुत बारी इससे रिलेटेड मैच द पेयर आते हैं एग्जामिनेशन में. ठीक है, सो हाईलाइट दिस. चीफ मुंसिफ, जज were the two officers in charge of the administration in each sarkar. Each sarkar was divided into several parganas: Shikdar, military officer; Amil, land revenue; Futedar, treasurer; Karkuns were the accountants, were in charge of the administration of each pargana. Mauza, village, was the lowest level of administration. There were also many administrative units called iktas. The government was highly centralized and consisted of several departments. The king was assisted by 4 important ministers. अब आप इन मिनिस्टर्स के नाम एंड साथ में मीनिंग्स भी याद रखिए. व्हाट डज इट मीन, बिकॉज मैच द पेयर में काफ़ी बारी ऐसे सवाल पूछे जा चुके हैं. ठीक है. दीवाने वजीरत, also called wazir, in charge of revenue and finance. Diwane Ariz, in charge of army. Diwane Raslat, foreign minister. Diwane Insha, Ministry of Communication. The land revenue administration was very well organized and revenue officers were called amils, while Kanugo were the officials in charge of maintaining revenue records. Sher Shah for the first time introduced a schedule of crop rates. He improved land revenue system by adopting Zabti-e-Har Saal, land assessment every year, and classified all cultivable lands into 3 heads: good, middle, bad, Amils used to oversee the measurement of land under cultivation for determining state's share. The state share was 1/3 of the average produced, and it was paid in cash or crop. Land was measured using Sikandari Gaz, 32 points. Sher Shah introduced two documents, Patta, amount of each peasant had to pay, and Kubliyat, deed of agreement. Sher Shah also introduced new copper coins called Dam. Highlight the name Dam, and ye kya tha? It was a new copper coin introduced by Sher Shah. And it is interesting to note that they were circulation till 1835 CE. He was also the first ruler to introduce silver rupaya, 1 rupiah is equal to 64 dams, and gold coins, ashrafi or mohar. It is pertinent to note that while the term rupiah had previously been used as a generic term for any silver coins, during his rule the term rupiah came to be used as a name for silver coins of a standard weight of 178 grains, which was the precursor of modern rupee. Similarly, gold coins weighed 169 grains. Sher Khan also improved the communication by building roads called arteries of the empire. He laid 4 important highways. They were Sonargaon to Sindh. He restored the old imperial road, the Grand Trunk Road by Ashoka, and also restored Uttarapath, which connected Tamralipti, Bengal, and Porushpur, Peshawar, Agra to Bahrampur, Jodhpur to Chittor, and Lahore to Multan. He built sarais, rest house, at a distance of every 2 kos, that is 8 kilometers on the highway, for the convenience of the travellers. These sarais were fortified lodging or inns where travellers could pass the night and also keep their goods in safe custody. Even sarai had several watchmen under the control of Shahna, custodian. One of the foremost contributions of Sher Shah was his re-establishment of law and order across the empire. Police was efficiently recognized and crime was less during his regime. He dealt sternly with robbers and dacoits and with zamindars who refused to pay land revenue or disobeyed the order of the government. Many of these sarais developed into market town, kasbahs, to which peasants flocked to sell their produce, and these sarais were also used as stage for the news service or dak chowki. Sher Shah also introduced other reforms to promote growth of trade and commerce. For instance, in his empire, goods paid custom duty only at 2 places. Goods produced in Bengal or imported from outside paid custom duty at the border of Bengal and Bihar at Sikrigali, and goods coming from West and Central Asia paid custom duty at the Indus. It is noteworthy to add that no one was allowed to leave customs at roads, ferries or towns or anywhere else. The duty was paid a second time at the time of sale. He directed his amirs to compel the people to treat merchants and travellers well in every way, and not to harm them at all. If a merchant died, they were not supposed to seize his goods as if they were unowned. In fact, he made the local village headmen, mukaddams, and zamindars responsible for any loss that the merchants suffered on the road. Military administration was also effectively recognized, and Sher Shah revived Alauddin's Chehra and Dark system. He personally supervised recruitments of soldiers and paid them directly. He divided the army into savars, serving as linchpin to enter organization, elephants and frontmen. He maintained his personal royal force called Khas Kail. He placed considerable emphasis on justice and considered justice to be the most excellent of the religious rights. He did not spare oppression, whether they were high nobles, men of his own tribes, or near relatives. Qazi were appointed at different places for justice and village panchayats, and zamindars dealt with civil and criminal cases at local level. In fact, his son, Islam Shah, took a big step towards dispensation of justice as he codified the law. Akbar. So before we move ahead with this topic of Akbar, आप इसको डबल स्टामा कर लीजिए क्योंकि इनके टॉपिक पर UPPCS में 2019 में 2017 में एंड 2011 में सवाल पूछा गया था. साथ ही साथ UPRO/ARO की एग्ज़ाम में 2021 में सवाल पूछा गया था. सो डबल स्टार मार्क दिस टॉपिक. Akbar, 1556 to 1605 CE, one of the greatest monarchs of the Mughal dynasty, who was the son of Humayun and Hamida Banu Begum. born at Amarkot in 1542 CE. When Humayun fled to Iran, young Akbar was captured by his uncle Kamran, but he treated him well. Akbar was reunited with his parents after the capture of Kandahar. When Humayun died, Akbar was at Kalanur in Punjab, commanding operations against the Afghan rebel there. He was thus crowned at Kalanur, Punjab in 1556 CE at the age of 13 by Behram Khan. Regency period of Behram Khan, 1556 to 1560 CE. Behram Khan was Humayun's favorite officer and confidant, who served as Akbar's tutor as well as a regent wazir of the kingdom, with the title of Khanan, remaining at the helm of affairs of the Mughal Empire. Behram Khan represented Akbar in the Second Battle of Panipat, 1556 CE, with Hemu Vikramaditya, Wazir of Muhammad Shah Adil of Bengal, who led the Afghan forces who were posing a serious threat to the Mughal Empire. Under guidance of Behram Khan, the Mughal won a series of battles in quick succession and warded off the Afghan contender like Sikandar Sur. They captured Lahore, Multan, Ajmer, vanquished Ibrahim Sur and annexed Jaunpur, besides laying a successful siege of Gwalior Fort, also under Afghan control. During this phase, Behram Khan emerged as the most powerful noble and started appointing his own supporters on important positions, neglecting the old nobles. This caused resentment among the nobles, who managed to influence Akbar as well. The problem was further aggravated by the growing arrogance of Behram Khan. By now, weary of Behram Khan's tutelage, Akbar also wanted to assume full control. He thus removed Behram Khan, who revolted but was forced to submit. Akbar received him cordially and gave him the option of serving at the court or anywhere outside it, or retiring to Makkah. He decided to go to Makkah, but was assassinated at Patan near Ahmedabad by an Afghan who bore him a personal grudge. Behram's wife and son were brought to Agra. Akbar married his widow and took his infant son under his protection. His son later on became famous as the noted Hindi poet Abdul Rahim Khana, an influential noble under Akbar. Rebellion from nobility. During Behram Khan's rebellion, groups and individuals in the nobility had become politically active. They included Akbar's foster mother, Mahamanga, and her relatives, especially her son Adam Khan. In 1561 CE, Adam Khan was victorious at Mewar by defeating Baz Bahadur, an accomplished magician and poet. Malwa Queen Rupamati preferred to take her life than becoming a Mughal captive. Adam Khan followed his victory at Malwa with almost total massacre of the defending army, women and children, and sent only parts of the booty to Akbar. Removed from the command, he laid claim to the post of Wazir. When this was not conceded, he stabbed the acting Wazir in his office. Furious at his impropriety, Akbar had him thrown down from the Agra fort. Similarly, between 1561 and 1567 CE, Akbar was engulfed by serious challenges from the Uzbek Central Asian nobles, who broke out in rebellion several times. Many of them traced their descent from Uzbek chief who had driven Babur out of Samarkand and had to come to India with Humayun. Uzbek declared Mirza Hakim, governor of Kabul, his half-brother, as the emperor of Hindustan. A group of Timurid nobles called Mirza also turned against the emperor. This was perhaps the most serious crisis Akbar had to face since Hemu's capture of Delhi. However, by sheer grit and determination along with a certain amount of luck, Akbar was able to overcome these multiple threats. Mirza Hakim was forced to withdraw to Kabul, and Mirza were duly suppressed, while the Uzbeks were completely routed by 1567 CE, early expansion of empire. 1560 to 1576 CE, he conquered North India from Agra to Gujarat and then from Agra to Bengal. He strengthened the northwest frontier. Later he went to the Deccan. Conquest of Gwalior, Malwa and Gondwana. Akbar started his policy of expansion with central India. In 1559 to 1560 CE, the first expedition was sent to capture Gwalior before moving towards Malwa. As we have discussed above, in 1561 CE, the Malwa ruler Baz Bahadur was defeated by Adam Khan, who fled towards Burhanpur. However, due to senseless cruelties of Adam Shah and his successor, there was a reaction against the Mughals which enabled Baz Bahadur to recover Malwa. After dealing with Behram Khan's rebellion, Akbar sent another expedition to Malwa. Baz Bahadur had to flee, and for some time he took shelter with the Rana of Mewar. After wandering about from one area to another, he finally surrendered at Akbar's court and was enrolled as a Mughal Mansabdar. Thus Malwa came under Mughal authority. The king of Gondwana, Graha Katanga, included the Narmada Valley and the northern portion of Madhya Pradesh and a number of Gond and Rajput principalities. It was an independent state in central India ruled by Rani Durgavati, the Chandela princess of Mahoba, and the widow of Dalpat Shah, son of Sangram Shah. In 1564 CE, Asaf Khan, the Mughal governor of Allahabad, aroused by the stories of the fabulous wealth and the beauty of Rani, attacked Gondwana. The Rani fought gallantly but lost the battle. She stabbed herself to death, and Gondwana was annexed to the Mughal Empire. Akbar later restored the kingdom to Chandra Shah, the younger son of Sangram Shah. Conquest of Rajasthan. It seemed that Akbar was fully aware of the importance of Rajput kingdom and wanted them as allies in his ambition of establishing a large empire. He tried to win over the Rajputs wherever possible and inducted them into Mughal service. He also entered into matrimonial alliance with the Rajput ruler. For instance, Raja Bharmal of Ambir married his eldest daughter Jodhabai to Akbar, and Raja Bharmal himself, his son Bhagwan Das and grandson Man Singh joined the imperial Mughal service. Akbar's military conquests were extensive. The Rajput kingdom like Merta and Jodhpur were occupied without much resistance. Siege of Chittor, Mewar. A major step in his campaign against the Rajput state was the siege of Chittor, which held not only the key to central Rajasthan, but above all, it was a symbol of Rajput spirit of resistance. In 1568 CE, Chittor fell after a gallant siege of 6 months. At the advice of his noble Rana Uday Singh, retired to the hills, leaving the famous warrior Jaimal and Patta in charge of the fort. A large number of Rajput soldiers were killed in the war. However, it could not be fully subdued, and some resistance from Mewar side continued for a long time. Later, Maharana Pratap, the ruler of Mewar, posted the most serious challenges to the Mughal emperor and did not submit before Akbar. In the famous battle of Haldighati, 1576 CE, Rana Pratap was defeated by the Mughal army led by Man Singh. Following the defeat of Mewar, most of the leading Rajput rulers accepted Akbar's suzerainty. After the fall of Chittor, Ranthambore 1569 and Kalanjar were captured. In 1570 CE, Marwar, Bikaner and Jaisalmer also submitted to Akbar. Thus, by 1570 CE, Akbar had captured almost the whole of Rajasthan. One of the most notable achievements of Akbar was that, in spite of the subjugation of the whole of Rajasthan, there was no hostility between the Rajputs and the Mughals. Akbar's Rajput policy was a combination of broad religious tolerance. He abolished the pilgrim tax 1563 CE and later the jizya 1564 CE. He also prohibited forcible conversion of the prisoners of war. It is noteworthy to add that the Rajput policy of Akbar proved to be beneficial to the Mughal state as well as to the Rajputs. The alliance, on the other hand, secured the service of the bravest warrior to the Mughals, whereas on the other hand, it ensured peace in Rajasthan, and many Rajput Mansabdars were assigned their own territories as Watan Jagirs, which was hereditary and non-transferable. They also rose to important position in Mughal service. Conquest of Gujarat, Bihar and Bengal. Gujarat had been in a sorry state of affairs since the death of Bahadur Shah. Moreover, the Mirzas, who had failed in the rebellion near Delhi, had taken shelter in Gujarat. Akbar was not prepared for such a rich province to become a rival center of power. In 1572 CE, Akbar advanced on Ahmedabad via Ajmer and defeated the Gujarat ruler Muzaffar Shah without any serious resistance. It was in order to commemorate the victory of Gujarat that Akbar built the Buland Darwaza at Fatehpur Sikri. With a strong fortress, offered some resistance but was also captured. In the short time, most of the principalities of Gujarat were brought under his control. Akbar organized Gujarat into provinces and placed it under Mirza Aziz Koka and returned to the capital. However, just within 6 months, various rebellious groups came together under Ikhtiyar ul Mulk and Muhammad Hussain Mirza, and revolted against the Mughal rule. As a result, the Mughal governor had to cede a number of territories. Hearing the news, Akbar marched out of Agra and at a rapid pace, along with few soldiers, and managed to reach Ahmedabad in just 10 days. He quickly suppressed the rebellion in 1573 CE. After this, Akbar turned his attention to Bengal. So that's all for today. We'll continue with this topic of Bihar and Bengal in our next lecture. So keep on watching Ghatna Sutra. See you next time.